What's going on, guys? This is Jay. Today is Sunday, July 19th of 2020. This is going to be our first double video, and this video is going to be logged into the irrigation complications part of the video, because this week we're working on watering some of these crops in here. We've been having a hard time getting water in here. It's been really dry for the past week, so what we're going to do now is go in and harvest some of the squash and cucumbers off of the plants. That way they don't have to focus all that water into the fruits. We're going to take some of these home and can some of the squash, or jar some of the squash, whatever you want to call it. But check it out. What's going on, guys? Today is Sunday, July 19th of 2020, and we are out here and about. We just harvested some cucumbers and squash out of the garden, and our plants are getting thirsty. They're starting to shrivel up, some of them, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how we're going to bring those back. We're going to get some water on them. What happens is when they bottom leaves, they start turning yellow. You have two things that are happening, either one or two things. One, they are water deficient, or two, they are nitrogen deficient, or both things. And if they're water deficient, then they're nitrogen deficient. That's usually why you're going to get your browning and the yellowing of your bottom leaves. Now, the last time we were in here, we had absolute chaos strike. We laid in our main line for irrigation all the way down the field, 750 feet. We put in all the cutoff valves to each block, which was pretty awesome. I have to admit, it was pretty awesome. Felt pretty good getting that stuff in there. But the problem was, we went to the water source where the waterfall was to hook the main line up, and the waterfall had dried up. Since then, we have gotten a 3-inch water pump. It's like a trash pump that they use to pump out sediment and things in the bottom of ponds. My uncle let me use a 3-inch pump, so we had to get the fittings cut off of it. It had fire hydrant fittings on it, or fire hose fittings. They were metal. Sky helped me get those off. We had to go in and use a pipe wrench to get one of them off. We had to cut the other one off with the grinder. Sky cut it right off. And we took a trip to Royal King to get the pieces to modify the pump. That way it would fit the irrigation. So what I'm doing today, I'm going in and I'm putting in water nozzles for hoses. I'm putting in the secondary line down the front parts of the field. And hopefully tomorrow we'll come in and put in the drip irrigation lines in between all of the rows and get these plants with some water on them. So until then, Felicia is going to take the bucket and give all of our squash a drink. We're going to give them all a little bit of water today to see if that helps. They're trying to make flowers and vines and squash and pumpkins and cucumbers, and they're really sacrificing their bottom leaves, and they're starting to die back. So we're going to try to get in here and save them. I hope that it's not too late for them. I'm pretty positive that we'll be okay. As long as we get some water on them, we'll be able to save these guys, and hopefully it won't be too devastating to the entire situation. But we're going to find out. So you could stick with us through the failure or the success. Not sure which it's going to be. We'll probably do a little bit of weeding in here tomorrow. We waited till the afternoon to come in today. That way it cooled down quite a bit. We had a little bit of a shower today, but not enough to water the plants. So now we have that fitting on there. We can come in and hook a spray hose up to this if we need to. But more importantly, that's going to stop all of our water from coming out the end of the line, because that is the end of the line. So we'll have a hookup here, and we'll have a hookup on the top part, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to jump back into a time lapse. I'm going to continue putting in these fittings, and Felicia's going to run through and do a watering with these plants. So let's see where we can get at and keep rocking with us. I'm going to continue to put in these water connections, and Felicia's going to go down and hand water a few of these plants because they are struggling. Those vines are looking a little bit scrawny and they need some water pretty bad.
So I hope you can hear me over the train. We're having no rain. It's pretty dry out here, so I went to the creek to get some water. The creek is even low. Usually I can fill this bucket almost all the way up. As you can see, there's maybe 5 inches of water, so I'm gonna have to take a few extra trips to get all these plants watered. But yeah, we're having a lot of dry weather here. It'll be all right.
So Felicia's continuing to do the watering of the plants, and I'm laying in some of the secondary lines and putting some water clamps on some of the cutoff valves. We put all the cutoff valves to each of the block inside of here earlier in the week. I'm taking a few of them out because we don't need as many, and we're changing up the design of the irrigation system a little bit. Right now I'm adding those water clamps on those junctions so it doesn't blast our line apart when we add our water pump to the irrigation system. So you just have to keep checking it out. I'm going to take you into a real-time video and explain a little bit better about what I'm doing and what's going on. So check it out, guys. We put in water clamps and we put in one of the secondary lines that the drip hose is going to feed into. And these plants, they need some serious help in here. We've had much success with getting them up this far. We've had quite a few setbacks this year. We're not going to let that stop us from growing on, because we got stuff growing on, and we're going to have some water in here soon. Felicia's been taking that bucket down through there, and I took off a couple of these valves here. We're going to run 2 of the blocks off the same valve. That way we don't have to use as many water clamps. What I've been doing is going down and clamping in at all of our junctions. That way when we go to put the pump on here, it won't blow our line apart. We took it all the way to the end down there. We put a clamp piece on the end, and an off switch will come in on each of these rows and put in a drip hose. That'll be 14 for the brassica patch, and looks like 5 or 6 for our squash patches. Felicia's been over here watering. I'm gonna go give her a hand. That way we can get some of this done, get some of these plants taken care of, and keep rocking it with us. We're going to water some plants for a little while and go back home. We're going to go back and get some more parts in the morning. So we need some more water clamps and a few other parts to make all of this happen. But it's going to be a journey, man. It's going to be a journey. There has been much setback this year and much success this year. You know, we've had some big failures and big successes, but that's what happens when you go big. You go big or you go home. So we're not going to go home until it's time, but keep rocking it with us. We're going to keep going down through here, getting this stuff done. I'm going to jump in here and try to help Felicia get some of this watering done. We have a little bit of weeds to pull at the end in block 5 where all of our squashes and cucumbers are, and you can see the sun going down right before your eyes over the mountain as it gets darker, and we're done for the day. I'm going to kick you back into what we did yesterday. We got a water pump yesterday, and me and Sky are getting that water pump going, firing it up for the first time in a couple years. I borrowed this water pump from my uncle. We have a little bit of work to do to it today. We need to get these fittings off. This is Saturday, July 18th, the day before what you just watched, before we started hand watering and laying in that secondary irrigation. So check it out. Yeah, that's the end.
That's the discharge.
Yeah.
So now, I would come in with 2 inches. I got a pipe over here somewhere. A metal pipe.
The fitting wouldn't come off, so Sky is going to cut it off with a grinder so we can get some other adaptations to adapt this 3-inch pipe down to a 1/2 inch. That way it fits into our irrigation system. We went to Royal King.
Turn that bottom loose. See here? Yeah. Yeah. You get your bite anywhere when you do that.
And we're just adding those adaptations to the pump. That way we can hook it up, and that's what it looks like when it's finished. Sky took us on a tour through his garden while we were there, and that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that it was informational. I hope it was entertaining. I don't know how informational it was because it has been a struggle to get these plants watered. Glad I took you along for the journey. If you liked the video, hit the like down below, subscribe for more videos, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos, and until next time, can you dig it?